Okay, so an important lesson that you need to learn if you're gonna walk the path of combining Eastern mysticism with uh, Western mysticism is that true detachment makes place for love. You know, and compassion uh, needs to be focused on, and you have to realize what compassion is. It's a type of empathy, but it focuses on passion. You burn with empathy because it's like, you know, you suffer because that person that you're paying attention to is also suffering, and you're feeling their pain, and it's like that's what gives you compassion if you combine that with empathy. You know what I mean? And then with compassion and empathy, you learn about the nature of love. But detachment comes into play because you have to be able to allow the being that you're either teaching or guiding along their path. You have to allow them to suffer sometimes. That's something that has to happen. You have to know when to step in and when not to. And it's hard because if you have compassion and empathy, it's going to hurt, to have to do that. It's going to hurt your heart. And you're going to want to hide from it and recede into what I call the void, and what, Hindus call the void. Uh, you're gonna want to recede there and stay there because you don't have to feel there. But the thing is, it's it's a decent strategy to get grounded, I suppose, to do that. But you can't stay there. You got to come back and feel. You know what I mean? You got to come back and you got to feel, uh, the pain. Because that's what part of love is. True detachment is not receding into the void and never feeling the pain of passion for another being. That's, but Buddhist, some sects of Buddhism get it completely wrong like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, but there are sects of Buddhism that understand that, because the essence of the essence of the Buddhist wisdom is compassion. And the secret of Buddhism is that they don't tell you there's a God. Uh, and they say that they don't believe in God, some of them at least. But if you study the right Buddhism teachings, they'll tell you there's a God. But they want you to experience God within yourself, for yourself. So they show you all the tools to get there. And then, they let you use them. And the thing is, when it comes to using spiritual tools, you have to be careful because if I was kind of blasted into the spiritual realm, uh, it could partly be because I was doing drugs, but it's also a genetic thing. For some reason, I have an inclination to have access to these realities, and it's like God kind of threw me into it and didn't give me the instruction manual, so I didn't know what was going on. The entire time, basically, I learned things along the way, and that caused a lot of pain, a lot of pain. But I'm healing from that, and but yeah. So true detachment makes way for love. You know what I mean, and compassion. So, but you have to be able to let the being suffer. Uh, and to do that, you have to be detached in a way that uh, you don't obsess about the pain of your compassion and empathy for that being. You have to be able to still move on with your life and do other things, which means you have to, uh, you know, learn to control your mind, not to obsess about those feelings that you're feeling in your heart for that person. You know what I mean? And that's hard. That's hard to do, but that's that's what I learned, at least.